This time on DawgStrip, we play with engines. We'll show you what parts we need to swap over onto our Ford 306 to install it in an early Econoline chassis. So much fun playing with cheap Craigslist engines.
Hello there! You are currently watching Chapter 5 of our Project Tetanus series. Be sure to go back and watch these from the beginning for the full viewing experience.
Alright, so now that we're done with bodywork, we're going to play with engines. This is the 240 that came out of the 67, and this over here is the Ford 300. We got it from a 77 pickup truck. So what we're going to do is put the 300 where the 240 used to be, transferring a bunch of things over. 3-speed on the tree transmission, points distributor, a bunch of other stuff, but we're going to show you the things that you need to change in order to put 300 in the Econoline.
For those of you that don't know, the Ford 300 engine has a good reputation for simplicity and reliability. For us, the upgrade should be an easy one. The 240 and 300 are the same engine block with different internals. Basically, a stroker kit with factory parts makes the 240 a 300. Ford did this a lot. 360 could be a 390, 351 could be a 400, and so on, and so on.
One little tidbit of information you may or may not know is how to decipher a Ford casting number. Basically, the first two numbers are going to tell you the year that casting was designed or poured. Alright, so here we have the casting number for the block. It is D5TE. D is going to be the decade for the 70s. 5 is going to be year 75. So if it was from the 60s, it would be C5. So we know that this is a 300 cubic inch engine from a 1975 Ford truck. Holy shit, that's a lot of oil. One thing that we have to swap between the two engines is the oil pan. They're vehicle specific, and it's always good to peel it off and take a look inside because this was a $200 engine that we have no history on. So let's look for squirrels, nuts, and or lost keys. What treasures will we find?
Because this 300 engine was from a pickup truck, it has a rear sump oil pan. This will not clear the 67 Econoline cross member. Hence, the reason why we must now swap pans with the 240.
Dirty, but it's not full of chunkiness. We'll take that any day of the week. Awesome.
Everything under here is just the way we like it. No spun bearings or discolored end caps. The rods aren't slapping around. By our standards, this sucker is mint. With the pan swap also comes the exchange of the oil pickup tube and the dipstick. The oil pickup is an easy unbolt and swap. Now, the dipstick has a little more to it. The 300 has its dipstick in the side of the pan, whereas the 240 goes in the side of the block. To remove the 240 dipstick tube is an easy hammer and punch job. The 300 block still has the old 240 casting holes in said block. Just punch out the world's smallest crossed plug and reinstall the 240's dipstick tube. Note, the 240 dipstick seems to come in contact with the 300 crank. We put a bit of a bend in the dipstick for clearance.
Alright, now that all that is done, let's put the pan on.
Next, we're back to the old 240 for the points distributor. The 300 has a Ford DuraSpark ignition, a good system, but this engine did not come with the ignition box for it. So we'll slap the old distributor on for now, as we know it works. Now we have to swap the oil filter mount. The 300 has a side-mounted oil filter that would interfere with the Econoline chassis. Both engine oil fittings had to be removed. One came easier than the other. Then, it's as easy as moving the oil filter adapter from the 240 to the 300. We never wanted these things to move again, so after a slathering of red Loctite, we applied the appropriate amount of Ugga Dugga.
Ugga Dugga Dugga.
Next, we assembled the front accessories. This was a mix between the two engines. 300 pulleys, 240 alternator mount, 300 alternator. Just a mix of what we had. Everything worked, but the 240 fan spacer wouldn't fit with the 300 water pump. After some precise and master level machining, everything was right and good with the world. Next, we tackle the manifolds. These suckers are cast iron and heavy. That, right there, 25 pounds falling to the floor. Through trading parts, we got our hands on this new exhaust manifold. It's a reproduction of the heavy-duty 2.5-inch outlet, commonly found on dump trucks with the 300. Using a rust-removing pad on a grinder made short work of cleaning off the gasket surfaces. The 2.5 outlet should breathe better than the standard 2-inch, so let's slap it on. After giving the single barrel carburetor a quick clean on new gaskets, we turn our attention to the worn ring gear. On a Ford flywheel, you can change out a ring gear or just flip it.
Blang.
We heated up the 240 ring gear in the oven
Bon appetit.
while the 300 flywheel was in the freezer overnight. While moving quickly, put them into place before the temperatures equalized and they locked themselves into place. And so, with the engine now hanging from chains, we add a few more parts. We ended up using the 300 truck clutch and pressure plate as they were larger than the set from the 240 Econoline. After adding the bell housing, we realized we were only a starter away from a test run. So, this means it took a few tries, but we managed to get the timing zeroed in.
Good girl!
That was epic. The first time we had ever heard this engine run, and it ran good. After getting the 3-speed top-loader transmission into place, we cut more holes into the floor.
There you go.
This hump was built into the 67 to accommodate the larger 240, in which we had to add to this 62 chassis. Now, what we were all waiting for, time to stuff that hole with our big 6. At this point, all was left to do was fabricate a new forward engine mount, and boom, the engine mounted. We hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe it will help you with a 240-300 engine swap. But for now, that's it.
Next time on DawgStrip, we have only 9 days to finish Tetanus before we hit the road for the BC Gambler 500. It's a huge rush and the pressure is on. There's going to be some late nights and lots of caffeine. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. Give us a thumbs up if y'all like what we're doing. What are you doing?
I'm making espresso. What does it look like I'm doing?
I want espresso.